Herkese tekrar merhaba. Şimdi bu ilginç panel, çok önemli bir konu konuşacağız şimdi. Real time bidding'i. Birçoğumuz bu konuyu anlamaya çalışıyor, birçoğumuz araştırıyor fakat hala bazı kavramlar karışabiliyor maalesef. Biz MedyaNet olarak istedik ki bu konu hakkında çok fazla tecrübesi olan, çok fazla bilgisi olan bazı dostlarımızı Türkiye'ye davet edelim ve onlardan biraz daha fazla bilgi alalım. Çok değerli konuklarımız var, misafirlerimiz var. Onları birazdan tanıştıracağım fakat öncesinde 2 slide göstermek istiyorum size. Bu daha önce görmüşsünüzdür diye tahmin ediyorum. Dijital display landscape, Lumascape'in bir şeması bu. Biraz karışık, kabul ediyorum, biraz korkutucu. Fakat aslında durum o kadar da kötü değil. Biz bunu zaten bugün konuşacağımız konu çerçevesinde biraz daha sadeleştirdik ve şu hale getirdik. Çok da anlaşılır. Reklam veren var, DSP var, SSP var, yayıncı var. Bunlar nedir? Şimdi detaylarını öğrenmek için müsaadenizle misafirlerimi tanıştıracağım size. Welcome again, all. As I said, we have very important guests from very important companies with us. We have Mr. Sacha Berlik, who is the General Manager Europe of DataXu. DataXu is a very important player. It's a DSP company. But what is a DSP? Coming shortly. We have Mr. Harvey, who is the EMEA Sales Director of Rubicon project. Again, another very important player in this ecosystem. And Rubicon project is an SSP company. Again, what you are asking yourself, what is SSP? Nina will be informing us there. And we have finally Mr. Ciaran. Ciaran is the founder and CEO of ExchangeWire. ExchangeWire is considered it as the Webrazi of RTB world. It's a very, very important portal, information portal, and Mr. Ciaran will be informing us regarding where we are right now in terms of digital advertising and what the future looks like. So, I'd like to start with my questions. Thanks again for coming here. I'd like to start with Sacha. Sacha, I have 3 questions for you actually, so I'm going to ask all of them in one shot. What is real-time bidding exactly, in a very simple way? And also, what is DSP? And last but not least, what are the benefits of RTB and DSP for the advertiser? Why would an advertiser be interested in, should be interested in these RTB and DSP stuff?
Okay, I have half an hour to answer these questions.
Yeah?
So, yeah, actually I think it's very difficult to answer a simple question very simple. So my first question is, who knows what real-time bidding is? Okay, cool. I would say something like 20 to 30%. I will ask the same question in 30 seconds after I explain what it is, and then I see if it worked or not. Actually, real-time bidding is you just buy the ad impression you want to have, or the ad impression and the unique user you want to have in an auction. How does it work? That works in real time. If you see a website, and in this moment a website loads, the creative loads, and before the creative loads, this is in something like 70 milliseconds, certain advertisers who are plugged in through a technology into this website were asked, do you want to have this ad impression? Or do you want to have the user behind it? That depends on your campaign targets and what you are willing to pay for it. So this ad spot is asking, let's say, 20 different advertisers, do you want to buy it? And the one with the highest bid for this certain ad impression is getting the ad impression. That's in real time, 70 milliseconds. What is 70 milliseconds? Actually, the move of the wing of a bee is 500 milliseconds. So real-time bidding is in something like 1/10 of the speed. It's much, much faster. That's real-time bidding. Who did understand what real-time bidding is?
Even less, I think. No?
Come on. Even less.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that was the worst explanation for real-time bidding. You make me sweat. And I'm selling that since 2009. So, what is a DSP? That's a much better question. Actually, do we see
there
it? Yeah, we see it up there. A DSP, a demand-side platform, is a technology which helps advertiser to use real-time bidding. A DSP is plugged into so-called supply-side platforms, which will be later explained by Nina, or publishers directly, to enable advertisers to buy in real time all the inventory and all the users they want to have. So it increases massively the efficiency and the transparency of the media buy. What is the benefit of a DSP and RTB? Actually, it's a major shift of the whole industry. So I think you all know how you're buying media, or how your agency is buying media. They use a telephone, they send an email to a publisher, to an ad network, you receive an offer, then you sign an IO, you mail it back, then you get a second email, can you send the creatives, and so on and so on. So it's a very complicated logistic process. It's something like up to 20 touch points until your campaign is up and running. It normally takes up to between 3 days to 2 weeks until your campaign is up and running. What is a DSP doing, or RTB? With a DSP, you have access here in Turkey to around 85 to 90% of all unique users. And you're sitting in front of your dashboard. You just open your campaign in the dashboard. You define your campaign targets, whatever it is, and then you push the run button. And in the end of the month, you get your invoice. So it's totally changing the way you buy inventory, you buy audiences. It's changing the whole logistics behind it. As a media agency, now you can really focus on strategy. You don't need to focus on your Excel charts. Or as an advertiser, you can do the media buying on your own. And on the other hand, what is a DSP and RTB doing? It gives the power back to advertisers and small and medium-sized agencies as well. It means large agencies don't have the buying power anymore. This power, due to the large amount they are buying, everybody who has access to a DSP can pay every ad impression for the same price. So for a country like Turkey, if small and medium-sized agencies are fast enough, this is the time for you to grow faster than the large agency owners, because you're currently all on the same stage. So it will be a major shift of our industry.
Thank you. I think it was clear, wasn't it? Nina, now that we know what RTV and DSP is, what is SSP? It's a publisher-side technology, we know that. It's a sell-side technology, but what is it? And why would a publisher be interested in this technology?
A supply-side platform is exactly as you said. It's a publisher solution. The demand-side platform is there to service the advertiser. The supply-side platforms are here to service you, the publisher. The benefits that it can bring, how it works is by connecting publishers to as many sources of demand as they possibly can. So that will be through a combination of ad networks, if the publisher chooses to, but more importantly, demand-side platforms, which will bid for the inventory in real time. You need to ensure, if you are a publisher that's going to work with a supply-side platform, that you choose a platform that has the controls within it to protect your brand, protect your user experience on the site, and protect your pricing. So these are very important attributes when selecting a supply-side platform to work with. And once you've made your selection, the benefits really are through the automation which it can bring to you. Supply-side platforms connect you to the whole of the market globally just through one relationship. And through that relationship and real-time bidding, you get a huge amount of transparency into who it is that is monetizing your inventory. at what price, and you can see exactly how it is that they're bidding against your inventory. And all of this transparency then enables you to start to take control. In the same way now that advertisers through a demand-side platform are able to be more selective about what inventory it is that they buy, as a publisher you can now start to be more selective about who it is that you allow to buy your inventory, at what price, and at what priority within the auction or within the across all of your inventory in different markets. And you can start to control this. And once you start to understand the open market's real-time bidding, you can then start to look to build private exchanges, which is kind of the next evolution on top of real-time bidding. And private exchanges are a way for you to start to put rules around your inventory so that you control this price and this inventory access. It enables publishers now to be far more efficient in the way that they work with advertisers. And again, in exactly the same way as Sacha was saying, you can now automate the buying and selling of your inventory without having to go through the 20-stage process from agency to delivery of a creative on your site, because you can now use the technology between the demand-side platform and the supply-side platform and the integrations which they have done to enable your inventory to be bought and sold through RTB.
Thank you. And Ciaran, now we know what DSP is, what SSP is. How did RTB start and evolve in US and Europe? How fast did the players adapt to these new sales channels, these technologies? And what happened to those who just said, okay, I'm going to stay away of this, I'm not going to sell or buy anything through RTB channels?
So, I guess a lot of people in this room will be very confused about these charts. What are they talking about? SSP, DSP, ad exchange. The reason why is that there's certain areas that haven't been covered here, like certain players are not on that map. So the reason why this all started, we'll talk, US is kind of the cradle of all this innovation. If we think about display advertising, it is a very inefficient way to buy media, as Sacha alluded to during his explanation of a DSP. You know, there's a lot of sort of manual optimization, there's lots of phone calls, there's lots of insertion orders, there's lots of fax machines. We're still using fax machines in 2013, what's that about? So in the States, you had a group of technology companies that decided to build these platforms. The first to arrive was the DSP, and mostly that was a way for agencies to, like the holding companies like WPP, Publicis, to sort of optimize campaigns the way the ad networks were currently doing for them. Out of that then you see some players like Rubicon and AdMeld and PubMatic, which are SSPs, sort of aggregate premium supply so these DSPs can connect into and buy in an automated fashion or via RTB. This has slowly sort of moved its way around the globe. The next market after the US sort of fell, well I wouldn't say fell, but to adopt this technology was the UK. And in the UK now we're three years ahead of Turkey. The people who've benefited from this are mostly sort of the advertisers and the agencies, and to a certain extent the publishers. If you look at how the agencies now are doing the buying, it's through DSPs, and they call these agency trading desks. So an example of an agency trading desk would be, let's say Publicis globally have a trading desk called Viviki, and WPP have an entity called Xaxis. So these guys use technology like DataXu to buy inventory from Nina's company and optimize on behalf of their clients. But the people who've kind of really suffered in this is that middlemen ad networks who really didn't add any innovation whatsoever. It was kind of like more of an arbitrage model. But even these guys have started to innovate and are starting to run ahead. People who don't get involved now, there is a problem of being falling behind, particularly some of the agencies. The holding groups are fine because they have strategies in place. Sacha's right. The playing field is level for independent agencies, smaller agencies to take control of this and really push on. But the real excitement really is around the publisher part. Publishers sort of have amazing data and amazing inventory, And they can do things around this space that that you guys will probably know about in about 12 to 24 months, but some really, really cool publishers in the Netherlands are doing some amazing stuff, building technology, building solutions similar to what the agencies do. They trade and buy inventory via the DSPs and SSPs. So I think Turkey's in a really interesting spot at the minute. You've got some really, really innovative players in this market, and I think I don't see anybody falling behind, because the conversations I've had with some of the players already, they're already ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
But it's important to know about how these technologies work and how they can help your business.
Great, great. Wow, okay, too much information.
It's almost too much.
Information. Sacha, if we come back to you again, you also can jump into the conversation. How much more do you think our TV market will grow?
In Turkey?
Everywhere.
Okay.
Is it going to grow?
I think I start with Turkey.
Okay,
Because,
sure.
Actually, I was part of, let's say, the rise of RTB in Italy, in Spain, in Brazil, in Germany, in France, and in the UK. And all markets are very, very different. What I can tell about Turkey is, I had a couple of chats here in the lobby before the room, is that the level of knowledge of the people I talked to was very, very high. So when Ciaran is saying that Turkey is 3 years behind the UK.
Just an estimate.
Yeah, I would say in terms of years, you're starting 3 years later. But what I've learned today is that Turkey is adapting very, very fast. So I really think that in the next 12 to 18 months, on technology level, Turkey will be on the same level. I talked to a couple of publishers here. Actually, most of the large publishers are already working with a technology like Rubicon project. And that means the inventory is available. So what we are doing here is we are evangelizing the advertisers. Now use it or push your agency to use it. Now it's on you. So talking about the growth, if I look at the Turkish market, which is something like roughly 500 million ad spends, where around 50% is on Google, you had an advertising or digital growth of, I think, 23.7% last year, something like that.
Yeah.
If you compare that to RTB, it's much, much more. Of course, if you just start with it, we're currently starting at 0. So every growth of, let's say, 100K, 1 million, 200 million, 300 million RTB will be something like 1,000, 2,000, 10,000% a year.
Yeah.
So I think we will see in RTB a growth rate in Turkey in the thousands of percents the next couple of years, let's say 2 or 3 years. And then we will come into a situation where we are currently, let's say, in Italy or Spain, means that the line gets flatter, so that we are in a growth rate of 150 to 200% a year. Then we will come into a scenery where we are currently in France, where you have a growth rate of 20 to 30% a year, or a bit more. And then UK, Germany, where you're still on 15 to 20% a year.
Any objections?
No, I think for OTB, or OTB is a kind of a protocol to buy. I just want to state that first of all. We think in programmatic, that's the way that we should approach this, is that automated way of buying. I think 2 things have to happen here in Turkey, right? We need to have a liquid market, and I think on the supply side, there is liquidity. We've got AdX, we've got people work with Rubicon, MedyaNet, we've got a bunch of ad networks who are out to supply. What really needs to happen is for the big agency trading desks, which would be Viviki and Xaxis, to come into the market and start putting real demand through the DSPs, through the ecosystem. And I think when that happens, you will see a lot more sort of growth, because when that spend starts to go through the trading desk, you'll see a lot more people jump on and adopt the thing. It follows a similar pattern across different markets. You have agency trade. So first of all, you have the retargeters, because they can see the opportunity of buying at the impression level, and then you see the big trading desks get involved. And I know for a fact that we had, I think it was Marco Bertozzi was here during the week looking to set up Viviki here in the market. And that's a good sign because obviously publicists are a massive agency with massive spend. So once that happens, I think, as Sacha said, you'll see those growth spikes definitely.
Yeah, and just jumping in here again, I think it's now about the small and medium-sized agencies, which are very, very powerful in Turkey, to be an early adopter, to really move fast. Don't wait for the holding agencies to take this part of the cake. You can do it now. And
I would agree with that as well. The small guy, you always want to see the small guy win.
And if we're talking about liquidity, I think I haven't experienced that situation before in any other European country, because you have so much inventory to buy here in Turkey. The Google inventory is available via RTB, which means YouTube is available via RTB. Facebook Exchange, so Facebook inventory is available for retargeting via RTB. Most of the large publishers are available via RTB. Yeah, it's just the lack of advertisers so far.
Exactly. And what future plans do you have at DataXu for Turkish market or maybe for other markets? What's your plans?
Okay.
Take over.
That's world domination. No. Actually, I think we just have something like 3 global competitors.
Yeah.
So it's pretty simple to say we want to be number 1, but we don't call it real-time bidding, because that's just the way you buy media. That's pretty easy to build. We call it programmatic marketing. Means we want to be the market leader in programmatic marketing, really reshaping the industry, being the new stock exchange broker and data company for the digital age. I think, and that's the macro view. I can talk half an hour about that, but I don't want to do that. Talking about Turkey is, I'm very sad that I'm just now here. I would have been here 1 year before, and latest mid of this year, I want to have a presence in Turkey, because this is a very, very important market. And if I compare Turkey with other European countries, everybody's keen to do RTB, but you always have this sadness in the eyes because of their financial situation and overall. If I talk to Italians in Spain, and here you don't have it. Yeah, it's just such a positive country and such a high growth economy. It's just a shame that I'm here now and not 1 year ago.
Cool. And Nia, do you have any examples? For example, which publishers are already in this ecosystem? Big ones, big names.
Yeah, so I think real-time bidding really has been a great mechanism for publishers, premium publishers, to start to connect to advertisers in a far more efficient way. And obviously we're working with MedyaNet locally in Turkey to help you guys, but also premium publishers such as The Guardian, News International, CBS Interactive, De Telegraaf in the Netherlands. These are really big premium publishers that have understood the opportunity which RTB presents to them to help improve the way that their digital business is running. And it's been very successful. A lot of our publishers, for example, in the UK, from the inventory which they send to us, probably about 70% of their revenue is coming from real-time bidding sources of demand.
Oh.
So it is an extremely effective way for advertisers and publishers to connect in a much more efficient way. And as I said before, I think as long as you're choosing, if you're a premium publisher, as long as you're choosing a supply-side platform that can give you the transparency, the controls, and hopefully the service and support as well to support your business, then you can develop a strategy which is bespoke to you as a publisher that works for you, your sales organization, your operations teams, for your wider business plans, and you can really take advantage of the opportunity which RTB presents.
Great. And what are your future plans?
We've got a lot of plans for this year. So one of kind of the things that we've been working on already, and we've seen great success, is through enabling our publishers to start to make their data, their first-party data, more actionable Real-time bidding has been actually wonderful for enabling publishers to start to take control of their first-party data and start to get value out of it. I think there's been a very long-term issue of publishers with very valuable first-party data, but not quite understanding how they can get that value out of the advertiser by exposing it. RTB is an extremely efficient way of doing that. So private market, private exchanges, so kind of data being offered out, but in a very controlled way to specific buyers, has seen CPMs, you know, for some of our publishers in the UK, they have CPMs which are higher than the way that they sell on the premium branded direct route. So very nice, strong CPMs for publishers. So first party data, leveraging that is one thing. The next is mobile.
Yeah.
Rubicon acquired a mobile ad serving company called Mobsmith last year and integrated it into our platform. So helping publishers now optimize the delivery of ads across their mobile inventory. A lot of our publishers see close to, if not north of 50% of their volume now starting to come from mobile devices. So helping publishers develop a strategy to optimize the performance of advertising across that inventory. And those are probably our key things for this year.
Great. And Ciaran, what do you think? What slows down RTB market to grow? What are the challenges?
What slows down adoption?
Yeah. But what challenges there are in this market?
Okay, so there's been some issues around like the idea of sales cannibalization for premium publishers, whereby they're selling via RTB, which is affecting the sales of premium supply. Mm-hmm. That was one sort of barrier we had in mature markets, but we're slowly getting around that. Nina's company has developed a private marketplace, which to an extent helps publishers get the best price for their inventory. And we're seeing a new development in the space around programmatic guaranteed,
yeah,
which means that advertisers can buy ahead for a set price, and then publishers can obviously manage the yield between real time and the programmatic guaranteed, if it's possible. So they're the sort of problems on the sell side. On the buy side, there's issues around potentially around advertisers and agencies. So agencies working as an agent and also having this trading desk, but those are sort of teething problems. They've been kind of ironed out between the agencies and the advertisers. I mean, the technology is there to take advantage of it. I mean, a market like I want to go back to Sacha's point, saying that Turkey's 3 years behind. It may be 3 years behind, as he rightly pointed out, but they can learn about all the mistakes that he made in the US
exactly,
and the UK.
Exactly.
So, and I have to say that the Turkish market is like, I cover quite a lot of European markets, and I'm not trying to blow smoke up your, I'm just thinking the Turkish players are quite canny and smart about how they buy and trade. And I've already been contacted by several Turkish guys about how do I get into this, and this is what I'm doing, can I have some advice? So I'm pretty confident that this market will explode and will really push on, because there's a lot of opportunity. And from a publisher's perspective, it's really, really hard to sell all of your inventory to all the agencies because you just don't have the manpower. And if and when the demand does open up, when more advertisers come into the loop, you will be able to make more money off those advertisers, off that demand, because there'll be so much of it. I mean, think about it. Retargeters, there'll be brand advertisers, there'll be agency money, there'll be affiliate money, there'll be client direct, there'll be ad network money. I mean, there's a bundle of cash seen there. It's just a matter of putting the right technology in place and also hiring smart people. Just going back to one of the problems I've seen in those mature markets is that the people, at the start the people weren't good enough. There was old school guys doing really, really technical sort of optimization. So getting that sort of skill set within the organization is really, really important. And if you nail that, then it will be success, because there are examples in Europe. The Telegraph is a fantastic example. If there's any publisher showing how to actually do this stuff, you should go and talk to Martin van der Med. He is a crazy guy. He speaks a lot and he shouts in your face, but he's got so much knowledge about this space. So there are great examples in Europe of publishers really doing well in space. So
It's a shame he couldn't make it. Yeah, he will.
You just basically talk for 40
Yeah.
minutes. You'd have no chance to listen to anybody else.
Yeah. And what future trends there are? I mean, to all of you, what are the trends in this field?
I think it's the industry where we're in is so brand new.
Yeah.
And the whole industry is driven by innovation. And so I wouldn't talk about trends here,
Yeah.
as we are inventing nearly every month or nearly every week something new features.
Yeah.
As Ciaran just mentioned, this programmatic premium, or how did you call that? Programmatic.
Programmatic guaranteed.
Yeah. So we started, let's say, three years ago with a technology called real-time bidding, which was just something, a new way to buy media. Now we're talking about data collection. Now we're talking about algorithms which are analyzing the users you've bought to give you reports which are much, much more precise. For example, at the reports you get from your TV advertising. Now we're talking about multi-channel attribution modeling. That means that we really we compare your TV advertising spend with your online advertising spend, with your search advertising spend, with your mobile advertising spend, and we try to bring that in a similar media attribution model, and so on. So I think that's where we are going to. I think the trend is getting more and more precise information about where the advertising money is spent. So actually that's what we're looking for. That's what real-time bidding or this data-driven marketing, programmatic marketing is bringing to us. And yeah, that's a permanent innovation. That's a permanent trend. It's a major industry shift. So yeah. I think that's the main innovation. That's the main trend. And we are now stabilizing that. We are evangelizing you, and we are stabilizing the technology. We are stabilizing the whole environment you see there. And that's what we're working on every day. Our engineers are working every day.
Anything to add? Guys?
No, I mean, I agree. I think programmatic guaranteed is something that will really enable, I think, advertisers and publishers to feel more confident about pushing more money into real-time bidding as a mechanism for delivery. Publishers are very interested in the way that real-time bidding can work, but then they also feel threatened because of the insecurity of it being a non-guaranteed revenue stream that's now starting to deliver potentially previously guaranteed spend. So I think the technology platforms such as Rubicon developing products such as programmatic guaranteed really gives the confidence both to the advertiser and to the publisher that you can still continue to trade with the same budgets and still have the same delivery of spend across your inventory, but just taking advantage of the technology as the mechanism for delivering it rather than it being such an inefficient process that it previously has been.
Trends.
Yeah.
There's lots of trends I could talk about. I think the biggest bugbear I have at the minute, the biggest problem I see in the industry is mobile. I think that a lot of publishers in this room, if there are publishers, are seeing a lot of their audiences move across to mobile. And I think that if we can figure out the targeting process of the mobile, I think RTB will really take over mobile. Because it's so fractured and so messy, and there'll be so many buy-in points, I think it's going to be absolutely impossible to sell that directly. So I think that the idea of real-time buying on mobile will be bigger than desktop. I'm still trying to figure it out. I mean,
whoever figures that out will make a lot of money.
Yeah, I won't be you'll see me raising 10 million in VC funding, and I'll be away building it. But if someone can figure that out, because mobile's got you've got to separate the tablet from the actual mobile phone. The mobile phone is where most of the traffic is coming from now, and I think that needs to be sorted out. And once someone figures that out in terms of whether it's a native advertising or whatever, the format's important, but if they can figure out the targeting piece, I think RTB could really, really be big in that. And I think that is a trend we will see in the next 12 to 24 months, because more money is going to shift across into mobile. It's just a natural thing to happen. So I see that's the big trend for me. I mean, there's other trends which I could go into, but maybe I should speak about that 12 months later. I'll come back in 12 months, we'll talk about that later on.
Okay. I think we have some time, so We can take a couple of questions if you have.
Yeah, you can get a couple of questions.
Yep, perfect.
But I'm going to stay here just in case.
I
To
don't.
make you feel that there's a timer.
Okay, TikTok, I can feel that. Any questions? No. I have one question. Is it okay for you? After 15 years, 20 years, what's going to happen? Is there going to be something like RTV? What do you think? After 30 years, 50 years, is there going to be a direct sales at all?
I can
20
say-
years, yeah.
Can I?
Yeah, take it.
I think we will have a massive shift in the whole way we buy media. Everybody who is involved in media, that will be more these geeky type of people,
Yeah.
people who really are deep into numbers, and more these, all the people are very good at mathematics, and they really like to crunch numbers.
Yeah.
These will be the ones dominating media agencies. I believe there will be still media agencies. I believe there will be still publishers. There won't be any ad networks or something like that anymore.
Yeah.
The whole buying process will be fully automated.
Okay.
Coming back to Ciaran, there won't be any difference between mobile or whatever. It's just
Convergence.
screens, and the screens will be holographics, something like if you want to have, you have your screen with you. And honestly, I believe in 15 to 20 years we will still have banner ads.
Banner ads? Okay, cool.
Yeah, because when I started in the online economy, that was in 95,
Okay.
people said in 97 the banner will be dead. We're now in 2013, it's still alive, I don't know why. So, yeah.
So 20 years' time,
Yep.
there'll still be ad networks because Google runs a $10 billion ad network. Facebook has an ad network. I think the agency role will change dramatically over the next 5 years. I think we are looking at this piece of our industry moving into what I'm calling the enterprise marketing stack. So the marketers within the advertisers will take more control of this. Whether the technology will be in-house, I don't know, but it's good likely to happen. The agency will still be involved. They'll have more of a consultancy type role. So the agency of the future will look like Accenture and IBM than WP and Publicis. It's going to happen. It's already happening. You see WPP buying consultancy businesses because they can see the writing on the wall. It's going to happen. And that means deeper relationships between the agency consultancy model and the advertiser, which is a good thing. I think that's a good thing. Whereas at the minute we have a relationship which is a little bit fractured, but
that's in 5 years, we're talking about 20 years.
there'll be no agencies in 20 years, sorry.
No problem.
I'm joking.
No problem. You know? Okay, you're fine. Any questions?
There's one.
There, yeah, over there.
Can you? Okay. I'm curious about something. Today in our ecosystem, the large advertisers get the less price per impression or click. But in your system, if you are demanding so much, a spot so much, you have to pay more money for it. It's a great thing for publishers and probably a great thing for advertising agencies, but advertisers will always want the cheapest prices. So I'm curious about that.
You're asking me? Actually, it's advertisers don't want the cheapest prices. Advertisers want to have the best return of investment. And an advertiser doesn't care about if he pays for an ad impression 1 cent or 1,000 euro or 1,000 lira. If the return of investment of every invested marketing money is better than before, the advertiser is happy. And exactly that's what real-time advertising and programmatic marketing is about. To tell you what's the most effective advertising money you have, and to focus just on these inventory sources or publishers. So if you pay now for one publisher the double price, but you don't use 100 other publishers anymore, you're happy to pay a higher price. And that's what it is about. Just to buy the ad impression of the unique user you want to have.
I agree with you in theoretical level, but when I look at the market in Turkey especially,
Yes.
Larger impression suppliers get the highest advertising, but the ecosystem of digital is totally different. You don't have to pay for large news agencies, but you have to go for effective advertising. You have to go to niche media, but we don't do it in Turkey. So I think the Turkish advertisers' mindset is more about I have to get more impression and more reach. I don't care about reporting that much, and I saw that kind of behavior in the side of advertising, in a psychological level, of course.
I think it's an argument I've heard quite often. It's quite similar to the Italian market, and it's quite similar as well to parts of the Polish market. And I think where you can compare most, the Turkish market is very similar to the Brazilian market. And it's an oligopolistic market. You have a handful of large publishers, so focus on premium and so on. So it will work here, and it works here. Yeah. We have clients using RTV in Turkey, and just test it.
Actually, I'm curious about, I agree with you, the process of, shifting to this kind of approach. Is there any cases you encountered that, in the path that could help this process? I mean,
of course.
Some case studies maybe you have.
Wait, I show you some cases now. No,
he's got loads of case studies.
Yes, of course, we can meet afterwards. Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, that's. Any other questions? No? Do we have time?
This gentleman here has got a question.
There it is. Yeah.
Down here at the front.
Ben şöyle bir soru soracağım.
Let's get a quick question and a quick answer, please.
Real time bidding'i dinliyoruz. Anlamaya çalışıyorum işin aslında. Ben hala tam soru işaretlerimi kaldırmış değilim. Reklam veren açısından baktığımız zaman, şimdi Google'dan bahsettiniz, Facebook envanterlerinde kullanılabileceğini söylediniz real time'da. Bir likiditenin olması gerektiğini söylediniz. Mesela reklam verenler reklam verdiği zaman Türkiye'de hani belirli oranlar var. İşte 3 ay vadeler, 2 ay vadeler. Bazen o vadelerin uzaması yayıncılar açısından problemler. Bunlar önemli sorunlar. Hani o likidite nasıl aşılacak? Bunun için ayrı bir desteği var mı? Ya da real time bidding'de ayrı bir platform mudur? Türkiye'de yayıncılar olarak şu an katılmış olanlar var. Hani yabancı katılımcıları duyduk. CBS dediniz, The Guardian dediniz. Ben bugün Facebook'un envanterini kullanmak için reklam vermek istediğimde direkt Facebook'u kullanmıyorum. Ajansı kullanıyorum. Ajans üzerinden satın alma yapıyorum. Ajans da yine kendisi kullanmıyor. Daha küçük bir ajans üzerinden benim adıma Facebook'tan alım yapıyor ve o sürdürüyor. Ya Google'da da yine aynı şey. Şimdi ben direkt kendi içeride bir Google için içeride bir AdWords uzmanı tutsam, o benim adıma Google reklam satın almasını yapsa benim için daha ekonomik olacak belki. Ama ajansa veriyorum. Ajans ona veriyor. O ajansa ona veriyor. Şimdi küçüklerin arasında kayboluyor gidiyor. Bu süreç dengesinde siz nasıl bir yol izliyorsunuz ya da size nasıl ulaşıyoruz? Türkiye'de bu şu an kullanılıyor mu? Bir diğer sorum da mesela niş medyalar var Türkiye'de. Yakın zamanda bir kampanya...
This is the longest question I've ever heard in my life.
Herkes sussun. Ben konuşacağım.
Yok. Son bir sorum var. Onu da tamamlayıp...
Let's explain the first question to the panelists first of all, because they have no idea what we are talking about now.
Actually, the question is, right now there are some, let's say, the payment delays. We are having some agreements with some agencies. They pay us in 2-3 months, etc. How is it going to be in this space? The second question is, are there any Turkish publishers who are also already in this ecosystem? Yes, MedyaNet is there. You can start today buying some available RTB impressions. It was going to be a surprise, but since you asked this, I'm explaining. So any of you can start right now, actually start buying our impressions. Some of our publishers are already there. Some of our ad zones are already there, so you can start directly buying it. So, and for the agency payment operations,
well, it's the same in most, are you talking about payment from the agencies?
Or payment to publishers.
Or payment to publishers, because most of these, most of the SSPs would have a clearinghouse for publisher payments. So Google do it, AppNexus do it, Rubicon do it, Automatic do it. I don't know, net 30, net 60 days.
It actually removes a lot of the risk from the publisher's perspective, because you're working with a supply-side platform, you're guaranteed to get paid on a fixed date every time due to your payment terms that are agreed in your contract. So you don't have to chase payment. All of that responsibility is removed from you. The supply-side platform works with the demand-side platform to secure payment. Whether Rubicon gets paid or not, if we haven't been paid by DataXu yet, we'll still pay you. So you can be assured that you're going to get paid on time. We chase our demand-side platforms for their payment, and then it's up to them to secure payment from the agency. So the security is actually far greater, and the efficiency on your side, where you're saving resource on your finance team from chasing all of these individual buyers from your inventory, it means that now you just take one payment from Rubicon, and that's it.
One fact check.
Exactly. Huge.
And we adapt our paying condition to the local markets. Yeah, we have local markets where we have net 10, means pay after 10 days. We have markets where there are paying conditions I don't want to talk about. Yeah, so.
Ben son olarak şeyi de
Çok
sormak istiyorum.
hızlı ikinci soru alırız. Çok hızlı
gerçek
ama.
Yakın zamanda bir medya alımı yaptım. Mecra ismi vermeyeceğim ama total olarak bir 4,5 milyarlık bir ödeme sonrasında sadece 500 klikle dönen bir mecranın günlük trafiğine baktığınız zaman çok ciddi yüksek oranları vardı. Gerçekten de yüksek. Çok ciddi reklam kampanyaları yaptı. Televizyonda reklamlarını gördük. İnternette, gazetede, her yerde gördük. Yoğun da bir trafik vardı ama bana geri dönüşü o mecradan gelenlerin siteme gelir gelmez çıkışı 5 saniyeydi. Sitede geçirdiği ortalama benim kendi analytics değerlerime göre, ajanstan aldığım değerler değil, 0.28 sayfa gezinmesi ve benim oraya ödediğim para 4,5 milyarlar, ciddi bir rakam bir haftalık süre içerisinde. Ama niş bir medyaya, yine aynı alanda niş bir medyaya tamamen para vermeden sadece kendi gönderdiğim haberi girmeleriyle gelen trafiğin bana dönüşü 5 sayfa gezinmesi ve 4,5 dakikada sitede kalma oranı vardı. Kendi analitik değerlerimde ve hiç para ödemediğim bir mecraydı. Şimdi bu tarz niş medyalar Türkiye'de çok fazla. Hani girişimciler de var, küçük yatırımcılar, herkes kendisi internet sitelerini yaratmak istiyorlar, çoğunluk var. Ama sizin gibi sistemlerde, örneğin Google olabilir, diğer alternatif net ortamları olabilir. İçine girmek, dahil olmak istemiyorlar. Çünkü tamamen izlenme ve trafik üzerinden bir cost oluşuyor. Bunun önüne geçebiliyor mu bu sistem? Onu sormak istiyorum. Yani değerini niş medya kendisi belirleyebiliyor mu?
Gerçekten geçiyor. Hani kısa oldu. Dışarıda zaten harca zamanımız kalmak için konuşuruz ama geçebiliyor diyeyim sadece şu an için. Thank you very much. Please help me to thank to our guests.
Thank you.
Thank you to all our speakers.